and welcome back to my channel. Today is story time. I know I haven't done a story time in a long time, and that's not because the stories were finished, okay? The stories are never finished. All I got is stories. But it is difficult, to turn on the camera, and I've been wanting to say the story for a long time, and it's like something that you have to be vulnerable with because you're inviting people into your life so that they can criticize and hate, but I'm used to that, so whatever. I just felt like this was the right time to now say this story because, it's important in terms of awareness and in terms of like the bigger picture. But before I get started, I feel like it's important that I address the elephant in the room. Right. So, yeah. Some of you might be thinking, Tash, I thought you just said this is story time. What kind of clear, no even bubble wine are you drinking if it's story time? Are you on gin now? Is that vodka? If it is it Russian beer? How far have you fallen? And these are all valid questions. All valid. But this is actually water. Okay? Because have you seen alcohol prices in Zim lately? Like, it is wild. You can't even get a bottle of wine for like less than $50 right now. 50 of my hard-earned dollars going to a bottle of wine. No. What I'm gonna do is sip on this water and wait for Jesus to turn it into wine. I saw you do it in the Bible, Lord, and my faith is strong. Okay, so I've been seeing a lot of videos on Twitter, right, about when girls like instigate fighting with men. Right? Like, that's a very controversial thing. But then, like, when girls are like, you can tell, like, when they're talking to a person some way or they're hitting on a guy, and then when the guy then turns around and hits them, it's like, oh no, it's domestic violence or whatever. But then no one takes into account the fact that this girl has been beating on this dude for the past hour and he hasn't done anything. I'm not saying it's right. I feel like nobody should be hitting anybody. But then the reason why I bring that up is because it made me think about this story of what happened to me when I went to Brighton the one time. I actually went to school in Brighton. I went to the University of Sussex. And then afterwards, I went to law school in London. Yes, she went to law school, child. So I had to move from Brighton to Croydon. But then I used to go to Brighton all the time because all my friends were still there. It was like a crew of us, it was like Zim crew. It was all people from Zim who are now in England, and we used to just boot together. And I want to say there was like maybe about 7, 8 of us, some people who thought they were in, who weren't really, other people who were but didn't want to be. You know how big friendship groups go. In any case, so I remember this one weekend when my friend is like, girl, we're gonna go out this weekend, and then I'm having a get together at my house. So this was like my bestie, like she was like my sister, so we're gonna call her Holly. Okay, so Holly's like, Tash, come through to Brighton, and Tash was like, I'm here, girl, what's up? Because it was like a 20-minute train, like it wasn't that deep. So now we're in Brighton, we're getting ready, we're gonna go out, because the plan was we'd go out and then like would have like drinks and stuff at her house afterwards, because that's just what we used to do. So Holly and I and the rest of our crew go out together, and we're in the club. And then when we're there, there was this like car of people who had driven down, I want to say from like Birmingham or Milton Keynes or something. Yeah. But then like that was a normal thing because like people in England will drive anywhere for a good time. Guys, like I remember there were times when we would actually drive from Brighton to Birmingham and back because we heard there was like killer tea there or some shit. Like it wasn't that deep. So let's call them the Birmingham boys. So Birmingham boys come through, and then they knew some of the people that were like in our Zim crew. So we were hanging out together or whatever. I didn't really like talk to any of them because I'm kind of closed off like that. Like I'm very open and like extroverted, but then at the same time, I'm an extroverted introvert. You know, you won't get it unless you are one. So yeah. So we're all hanging out, and then afterwards we decide to go back to my friend's house. And we're just like all chilling to Holly's house. And we're all chilling, still drinking. And now we're upstairs because Holly's bedroom was upstairs. And we're upstairs, not all of us, but some of us. And it was, I want to say, maybe like 6 of us were upstairs. Like 3 girls and maybe 3 guys. And then one of the Birmingham boys comes upstairs where we were. And like the whole time that he's there, he's like looking at me sideways. I'm just looking at him like, sir, who is you? Like, who even is you? Because I don't like, people just don't know how to Mac anymore. Anyways, it will all become even clearer as the story goes on. But anyway, so he comes through and so he comes into the room. I'm standing here and there's like a bed rail. And then there's some people on the bed. The bed is going that way. There's some people on the bed. I'm standing here. My friend, let's call him Andrew. Andrew's standing on this side of me. And then Birmingham boy comes and he's standing on this side of me. And then I can't remember some of the things that happened. But then I remember Birmingham boy reaches over and then he like just grabs my ass. Like out of nowhere. Like I hadn't even been talking to him really or any shit like that. And he just like grabs my ass. And I'm like, what the hell? So I turn around and slap him in the face. Please, in the comments, give me, like, what do you think about that? Let's do a phase by phase, what do you think about when it comes to this story? So anyways, he grabs my ass. What do you think about that? I turn around and slap him. What do you think about that? And then he turns around and just goes whoosh. And like I'm trying to put my head up and he goes whoosh, and he goes whoosh. In my mind I'm like, did I just get punched like 3 times? Like it wasn't even like a little bit, like give a girl some room to breathe, you know, to position herself, because in boxing they didn't teach us about when it just comes from left field, you know, they just taught you, you know, when you're in the stands. So I'm just like, oh shit, I think I'm getting punched. But anyways, so he goes doosh, doosh, doosh. And then Andrew on this side like tries to hop over to stop him. Keep in mind there's like the bed rail here. So he tries to hop over to stop Birmingham boy from brutalizing my ass, because I mean this is the money maker. What are you doing? So so Andrew jumps over trying to stop Birmingham boy, and then Birmingham boy like pushes Andrew off, and like during this whole stopping him from beating me to pushing Andrew, like I'm on the floor now, right? And whilst I'm on the floor and I'm busy thinking about like, oh, okay, like what the hell is happening right now? Does this guy not just start kicking me in the face? Birmingham boy, whilst I'm on the ground, and I'm like, like I've never been so dazed in my life, because it's like literally an out-of-body experience. I'm like, so he starts kicking me. What do you think about all that? And then one of the guys like pulls him and then like brings him downstairs, and then they like shoot him out of the house. And at this point, I'm like livid, you know, because I used to fight in primary school, like fight boys. Don't ask. I was a violent child, you know, I grew up fatherless. Okay, what do you want me to say? So I used to like fight a lot in primary school. So when I got up from the ground, like I was heated. Like I was like, you know, when you're doing that, like you're trying to stop the tears from coming down and you're trying to be tough at the same time, but you're like, this nigga just beat me after he grabbed my ass. Yeah, I slapped him a little bit, but like, why were you grabbing my ass in the first place? Anyways, in the comments below, tell me what you think about all of that. The plot thickens. he goes downstairs and he's rushed out of the house. Other people who are in the room are kind of just like, you know, not really doing anything. Some people are like, oh, Tash, are you okay? What's up? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. But like, you know, I'm heated. And then like I go downstairs and I'm not going outside, but then I just go downstairs to be like, yo, guys, this person just beat me upstairs. And everybody's busy downstairs, like booting. And I'm like, these niggas, do they understand what just happened right now? I was supposed to sleep over in Brighton that night. But then, okay. This part of the story is the part that's actually difficult for me. So yes, I'm downstairs and I'm telling my friends, guys, this is what just happened. This guy just beat me upstairs. Like, who even is he? Like, who came with him? And then everybody's just acting like, you know, you don't know him or whatever. And I'm like, okay, it's quick how people then claim not to know people once some shit pops off. Nobody wants to claim him anymore because suddenly everybody's like, we don't know him, we don't know who even is it, who brought him, and all that kind of stuff. And then he comes back into the house and the other people behind him are like, no, he wants to apologize. At no point did he say, I'm sorry, right? He just goes, no, I didn't like the way that you were talking to me. Who do you think you are? You think you're prettier than you are. And then like at this point, I'm like, okay, don't talk to me. Like, I'm looking at my friends like, why did you let this person back in here when they just hit me? And then you hear what they're talking, but then you just like standing there like, are you okay, fam? So the whole premise of why he had hit me was basically because I think I'm cuter than I am and that no one can approach me. So his solution was to hit me. Granted, I had slapped him first, right? So the real reason why I'm perplexed about this whole story is because, well, then I didn't sleep there because I was like really upset with my friends and I wasn't here for that because if I'm friends with you, I'm ride or die, bitch. Like, I'm gonna freaking beat on that person, call the popo, at least not let him back into the house. Like, some shit is not gonna happen. Moral of the story, I guess, is that not everybody can take rejection, but the real reason why I wanted to say this story is because so after that whole situation, it actually made me think. And the reason why I haven't said this as a story time before is because on some level, I felt like I deserved it. Like when he hit me, because I'm like, well, I slapped him first. But then I'm like, no, because you grabbed my ass first. Like, I wasn't even talking to you. I don't know you from Adam, but you just out here grabbing people's asses. And even if it was based on the fact that I had slapped him first, it was like, you know, be proportionate. Even self-defense has to be proportionate, guys. Like, how you gonna punch me, then kick me, and then people who are supposed to be my friends still let you be around in my space? In the comments below, please tell me any story that comes to mind that might remind you of this kind of situation and how you think I should have dealt with it, actually. Or like, do you think I was right? Do you think I was wrong? Do you think that person was right? Do you think they were wrong? At the end of the day, I didn't end up sleeping there because I was like, I don't feel safe in this place and the people that I thought were my friend aren't my friends. So I took a Uber child all the way to Croydon, which was like 200 pounds I did not have. Then went to the hospital, filed a police report, but he was one of those Zimbabweans. One of those diaspora Zimbabweans. You know the ones I'm talking about. The ones that are living, like you see them on Snapchat and at every gathering, but nobody knows who this nigga is, like who his parents are or anything. Like they're like living in the shadows, undocumented. People want to complain about Mexicans. Zimbabweans in England, it's an epidemic.
They call me childish. They call me the Holy Ghost, Son of the Most, Father they don't know